right, so connection. We touched on this in the takeaway section. It's where the hands are staying in front of the chest throughout the swing. This is a very important part of most swings, and it's a reason that a lot of players can be so consistent. Now, in the backswing, right, we have our takeaway where our body is allowing our hands to rotate, and then we want to maintain that connection all the way up to the top. What I'm saying there is we don't want to have a good takeaway and then ruin it by pulling this right arm way back, or have a good takeaway and then keep going way up and lose this connection, right? We want to maintain this connection as long as we can. Ideally, it's through the whole swing. Now, obviously, that won't really happen because when we get to the top of our swing, there is always going to be a little bit of hands that run off a little bit. The only person I've ever seen that doesn't do that is Adam Scott. His hands stop as soon as his chest stops rotating, and it might be a reason why he's such a good iron player. We need to make sure we have that connection. Some players do lose their connection though, like Scotty Scheffler, who's probably the greatest in the world right now. Well, definitely is the greatest in the world right now. He, at the top of his swing, gets his hands pretty high and he has his flying elbow, right? He lets it way fly out. But what he does really well from there is he fires his hands back down before he really rotates, and he gets his hands back in front of him. He regains that connection, right? So he goes from connected takeaway, connected backswing, disconnected top of the backswing, but then he quickly regains it and is then able to hit a really good stock fade every single time. For most people, we don't want to lose that connection because it's something that can really get them into a lot of trouble, right? Because it's very easy to get to the top of your swing, lose that connection, and then not know how to get it back down in front of you without getting stuck, right? We don't want to be stuck. We don't want to have any trouble or any compensations in the downswing. So ideally, what we do is we take that same drill that I showed you before for the takeaway, where we wrap this left arm around our right arm for right-handers, and we feel like we maintain this connection all the way to the top. And you can see we have this nice full backswing, but we're still connected. We're still able to then rotate well into the downswing and hit some really clean, solid shots. This is a great training aid for those of you who struggle with connection at the top of your backswing. What I'm gonna do with it is put it right in between my forearms and just kind of squeeze it together, right? I'm gonna get to the top of my swing, and it's going to force me to have a very connected arm structure. I'm not gonna be able to run my hands too far off because eventually I'm gonna drop it. I'm not gonna be able to have this flying elbow that gets too far out of the way. It's gonna force me to stay connected and stay in front of my body and make some better swings. And so one thing we do want to be careful of is we don't want to fake our connection, right? I've seen a lot of people, it looks like they have a great backswing, right? It looks really solid. Everything's in a good spot. But then when you turn, it's really just their hands that have gotten way behind them. We don't want that. That's losing that connection. We don't want to fake it. So it's always good to record yourself from all sorts of angles and make sure that you're not actually faking anything, but you really are using the drills, you're getting connection, and you're maintaining that connection all the way to the top and through the ball.